Today's episode of Kwibuka podcast details the day killers in Mugina decided to spare women and children, but while transporting them to Kabgayi, they met the head of the National Gendarmerie Investigation Services, Major Karangwa Pierre Claver, who ordered all the survivors to be killed on the spot. April 24th, 1994. Massacres perpetrated against the Tutsi in the former Gitarama prefecture. Mayunzwe was one of the 6 sectors of Tambwe commune, which was home to many Tutsis. In 1994, Tambwe was led by the former communal brigadier Murekembanze François, who is in exile and has played a key role in the massacres of many Tutsis. More than 850 Tutsis were killed in the sector, and most of them were killed on April 24th, 1994, at a place called Calvary. Tutsis were taken from their homes from April 21st, 1994, and were taken to a hill called Calvary. They were killed using a wooden club that was given a nickname of Nhamhongano Yumnganzi, machetes and other traditional weapons. The chief perpetrators of the killings were Sebuhuku, member of MDR and head of attacks, Murekembanze François, Hitimana Fulgence alias Rubara, Mundanikure Faustin, Sibomana Alphonse, Rwagahungu Pascal alias Gache, Niyonsenga Seleman, Rwasa Cyprien, Nyandwi alias Caporal, Nwari, and others. There were other killers from other places that included Waisawa from Bamngara and Gasuguri from Rukaza, among others. Murekembanze François, who played a key role in the massacres of many Tutsis, is in exile and is being sought after to face justice. There were many Tutsi refugees who started to flee on April 20th, 1994. They headed to Petit Séminaire Saint-Léon in Kabgayi, at Saint-Joseph College, at Major Seminary Philosophicum Kabgayi in the former Trafiporo building, which changed the name to CND during the genocide, and in Kabgayi Hospital. No Tutsi had managed to take refuge at Kabgayi Cathedral because Bishop Senjumvatade, the priest at Kabgayi, refused to take refugees inside. There was a roadblock at the entrance of Kabgayi and many Tutsis could not even enter above-mentioned places. Upon their arrival, Interahamwe would come to pick some Tutsis and kill them inside and outside the mentioned schools and in the Kabgayi forest. Kabgayi was a refuge for Tutsis from different parts of the country. Hence, Interahamwe from other prefectures would come up with a list of Tutsis who had fled to Kabgayi and take them to be killed. Apart from killing Tutsis, women and girls were taken to be raped and they would be brought back or disappear for good. At some point in time, killers threw grenades at a place named CND and killed hundreds of Tutsis. Besides, many Tutsis at Kabgayi succumbed to famine and illness due to the lack of food and water. When the corpses became so many, the entire area started to smell. Thus, they decided to take Tutsis who are still alive to be killed elsewhere. A pickup vehicle was brought to take them, and they started with educated, rich-appearing Tutsi, men and youth, and went to kill them in other places such as Nyabarongo in Ngororero. Religious people were taken to Bukomero and other known places. And there were mass killings on May 5th and from May 24th to June 1st, 1994. On June 2nd, 1994, after learning that Ingotani were close by Kabgayi, Hutu refugees woke up early and left. Only Tutsis were left, and due to the plan to exterminate them, they were prepared to die because they had been surrounded by the killers. So when the gunshot started, Tutsis thought they were being attacked, but instead, they saw Inkotanyi from a place called CND at Kamazuru. The killers fled without implementing their plan to exterminate them. Kabgayi Genocide Memorial is now serving as a final resting place for more than 10,000 Tutsis. Religious people were taken from Major Seminary, Saint Joseph, and other Kabgayi houses to be killed after being abandoned and betrayed by their colleagues. Among them was Father Emmanuel Rukundo, who killed Tutsis in Kabgayi and raped Tutsi women before handing them over to be killed. On October 2nd, 2010, Father Rukundo was convicted of genocide crimes by the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda and sentenced to 23 years in prison. On April 24th, 1994, a deadly attack in Mugina claimed lives of several Tutsis who had taken refuge there. Some who had managed to enter the church survived until when the killers ordered them to get out and they were immediately killed. Killers said they will not kill women and children, hence they decided to take them to Kabgayi. When they arrived in Wibungo, they met Major Karangwa Pierre Claver, the head of National Gendarmerie Investigation Services. He asked them where they were taking them, and killers told them that they were taking them to Kabgayi. Major Karangwa prohibited them and ordered them to kill Tutsis on the spot. Killers took them into the nearby house owned by a Tutsi called Moko, and others were thrown in a pit latrine alive. Major Karangwa provided petrol to burn them in the house, and those thrown in the toilet pit were burnt alive also. Major Pierre Karangwa fled to the Netherlands and is yet to be arrested to face justice. During the genocide, more than 30 Tutsis took refuge at Adeper Church in Mbuye, but they were all killed. The killings were organized by Mafurebo Daniel, former councillor of Mbuye sector, in collaboration with Nyakarekare cell leader Misago Emmanuel Elias Rusumo. Tutsis were killed by local people and thrown into a pit near the slaughterhouse. Thank you for listening to another episode of Kwibuka Podcast. As always, make sure you leave us a review, sharing what you like about the podcast, and share with others who would be interested in listening.